anuncia o reino de Deus. Nada disso está errado, galera, mas a nossa atitude revela o que é importante para a gente. Pode ligar de novo a luz, amigo, por favor. A nossa atitude revela o que é importante para a gente, galera. A nossa atitude mostra o que é prioridade para a gente. O materialista, ele olha para o que o mundo tem para oferecer e ele ama a riqueza material. Mas quando ele pensa na riqueza espiritual, naquilo que vale mais aos olhos de Deus, isso não importa para ele. Eu queria mostrar um segundo vídeo para vocês, que vai nos ajudar a mostrar qual é a proposta de Jesus, diferente do materialismo. Vou pedir para acender a luz, por favor, apaga a luz. Eu sou bipolar, você está percebendo? Eu tenho dificuldade com isso. Deixa eu só falar um negócio antes de soltar. Não, pode apagar a luz. Esse vídeo, gente, é de um blog cristão chamado Voltemos ao Evangelho. Ele é fantástico. As pessoas que trabalham ali compondo, o repertório desse vídeo são caras extremamente tementes a Deus, querem ter a mesma atitude de Cristo Jesus, e é um blog confiável, gente, que vale a pena acessar depois. Então pode colocar aí, preste atenção.
I believe in Christ's suffering and the demonstration of the kind of physiologic stress that his human body was under is manifested in the Garden of Gethsemane, where it's described that he was sweating blood. And there is a well-documented medical condition in which patients who are under tremendous amount of emotional stress and physiological stress can in fact sweat blood, because the blood vessels within the glands burst, and then the blood is expressed. The scourge involved the use of a short whip with pieces of typically metal, sometimes bone, sometimes pieces of porcelain wrapped in these leather straps, which is then utilized to come across typically the back, the shoulders, the legs of the victim. The first few passes across a particular body part would tear through the skin, the fat, but eventually, once the outer layers were torn away, it would start getting in the muscle and the tendon. And of course, along the way, you're ripping through all the blood vessels that supply all those tissues. And so you're losing blood the whole time. The plant that was described actually had a very long thorn, not the little thorns that we would take from a rose bush. These were thorns that were typically 1.5 to 2 inches in length. The scalp is one of the most vascular portions of our bodies, and a huge blood supply up there. So then having those thorns shoved down into down onto the bony plate would have gone through all the scalp, which in and of itself would have created a huge amount of blood loss. I've seen people actually bleed to death from just a scalp injury. So it's not a small injury to have, dozens of these things shoved into your scalp. And so that would have caused more blood loss. Typically, when a victim has to carry the cross, what has been described in the literature, in actual Roman literature, is they describe, they carry the crossbar. And the crossbar is estimated, alone, was estimated to weigh about 110 pounds. And of course, your arms are stuck out here, wrapped up on the crossbar, and you fall down, you need help getting up. You just can't get up on your own, because there's no possible way without your arms to get up. So you would have needed help getting up. If you fell over, there's a good chance that he could have hit his chest, which then could account for the possibility of a cardiac injury. Anatomically, we consider the wrist as part of the hand, and so with the placement of the nails between the radius and the ulna, at that position, it still fits the definition of being in the hand, and it's in a position in which the nail won't rip out, which you have to have. You have to have a solid point of fixation. Another interesting point about the placement of that is the median nerve goes right straight through that particular portion of the wrist, and so there would have been either destruction of the nerve or impingement of the nerve that would have created tremendous amount of pain. So that every time you try to take a breath, it'd be agonizing. You'd be pushing down on spiked feet, which of course hurt, and then you'd be hanging on spiked arms. And so you alternate from excruciating